Hey, I'm Kev Kermuscom. Welcome to the last 2 rounds of the season. It is the finale of the MX2 career mode in MXGP2. As we are headed to the Americas, here we are in Mexico around the Leon circuit. And then we're going to head to America for the season finale. Can Greg Hernandez, the Andorran with a heart of steel, come through and win the MX2 title? That is the big question. As we are in 4th place head into this round, we're falling behind Hernandez, the Latvian, who jumped us in the last round after a terrible weekend in Holland, in the Netherlands. As around the TT circuit, Assen, not the tarmac circuit, the MXGP circuit, we had the pace. About a terrible couple of races where we just got involved in way too many incidents. So we're looking to avoid that around Mexico, or else we will be out the title hunt heading to America. But we've been very strong on this Suzuki since we switched teams. We've got around 4 or 5 wins. We definitely have the pace. Just got to keep it together. And that has always been the big question about Greg Hernandez this season. And so we are 45 points back of Jeffery Herlings, the MX2 legend, multiple world champion. We also have the Brit, and the Kawasaki, who is right up there as well. As we do a 45.8 in qualifying. Does that mean we start from the top spot? Let's see, as we skip to race 1, and we do by 2.6 seconds. What the heck? As we have Hernandez in 2nd, Savinian in 3rd, Hernandez in 4th, and the Brit in 5th. So the 4 title rivals are in the top 5. Regaza, who's 5th in the standings, but is around 60 points back, so a real outside shot and probably out of it. But what a qualifying. Let's see if we can keep it together in the race. So here we are, revving it up, leaning forward, and waiting to go. Oh, poor start. We're definitely not going to get the whole shot. There's Nick to the outside. We're around 5th. So we got bashed wide. Got bashed wide again. As the Brit's down. One of the title rivals is down already. And we got the Belgian down as well. As we are in 6th. Battling his teammate Hernandez up here as I got my teammate behind me. What a great start from the Portuguese rider as we nick his top 5 place. As we've got the Slovenian and Herlings battling for the lead. We've got Hernandez in front, and we're trying to make our way through. We've got up to 4th, over the mounds, where we are pretty damn good on this Suzuki. And there's Hernandez right in front. We've got a rival behind us in 4th. And we're looking to the inside here. And looks like we've got it. As the Slovenian's pushing Herlings. He's looking round our outside, but you having no luck with that, son. As I take the lead. He's down! The Slovenian's down! That is definitely his title chances over. It's going a bit wide. Managed to keep it on the track. Got Hernandez behind us. As you can see, this Mexican circuit got loads of little jumps here. Which plays into our hands. Probably explains that qualifying us and got a bit of advantage over those jumps on this Suzuki. As now they're battling behind, that's good for us. We can keep it together. It should be a pretty easy win, as our qualifying pace showed. But got a 2-second lead, we can't be too comfortable at the moment. If we crash, we'll be right back in it. But of course, fingers crossed I don't do that. Even though it might lead to a bit of a boring race for you, unfortunately. Not much of a spectacle. But I kind of feel like I need that at the moment. As he pulled out another few tenths in that 1st sector. This circuit actually flows pretty nicely with all the jumps, as they are having a battle royale for 2nd. And you see the corners, none are really too tight because you kind of just flow into it. We've got some intermediate ground here as well. So it's not either soft or hard, it's just, you know, in the middle. It feels pretty damn nice. So I can use the ground slightly to get the bike turned as well. Play with the ruts on the surface. As we've got a rival in second, that would be very helpful in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, as you can see, you've got a pretty big jump there. He's going into the final part of the lap now. And he's basically just flowing through the corners. They have a tight hairpin coming up. As I had the brakes like there, I was heading wide. This is kind of the tightest corner on the circuit, but as you can see, you can go a bit of a wide line, and the bike just works with the surface there to get you towards that apex. There's no! Our rival's down! It is playing into Herlings' hands, this race. I might be winning, but I'm not going to be taking too many points off the Dutchman as he head on to the final lap of the race. Because we've got a 7-second lead, so we can relax slightly, but if I do that, then I'm going to start making mistakes. So I'm just going to keep on it. But what an interesting race for the title, as only me and Herlings have survived out the 4. Be interested to see where the Brits finished, as he crashed early. And Jonas, he might not be affected too bad. He might be in the top 5, as he crashed quite late. But oh my god, not a very good set of jumps there. I'm leaning too far forward. I've got to lean back slightly. There's hello advertising audience. I remember you from the last round. To get too close to them. As we've got a very comfortable lead behind. And this track again just seems to suit us. The 8.5 seconds. Should have done a scrub for the crowd there. You can see lots of crowd round. And I'm liking this Leon track. I say it just flows. Even the tight stuff. And so if we move to the Suzuki, we've won it every round. As that is my teammate. Oh, he's down as well. Almost everyone in the top 5 has gone down this race, apart from Leon Herlings. As we go through the final corner, we just got a little kink, and then we go across the line to take an important win. And a race 1 win. In Mexico, you fly high, Greg Hernandez. So he won by over 13 seconds. Jonas in 3rd, so he didn't lose out too badly. And the Frenchman on the Yamaha in 4th. Petrov rounds out the top 5 with the top Kawasaki ahead of Hernandez. I accidentally called him Portuguese early. He actually is French. And you can see the Slovenian ended up in 8th. My teammate was in 10th. Where was the Brit? 13th. Oh, he's lost a big amount of points. 17 to myself, 14 to Herlings. But let's see if we can make it a perfect weekend and take the overall in race 2. So we are lined up. 3rd to last round of the season. And another poor start, but a bit better actually than last time. As the Slovenian gets the whole shot, he is a bit of a specialist at that. As we got pushed wide. Oh, and the Frenchman is down on the Yamaha. It seems to always happen. As we almost go down. As we get back up into 4th place. And we've got a Belgium in 3rd. What a start. As it's that man, Hernandez at the front. And now we are bashing wheels with him. We've got Tomkin battling for a top 5 behind. Nice from the Russian. As the Belgian's in 3rd, he's followed us through. The Slovenian. And just as I build him up, Tomkin goes down. Or Tomkov. Why do I keep saying Tomkin? It's the end of the season. I should have known how to say his name by now. I should try to cut back on Herlings. Look at this. Elbow to elbow with our rival. Couldn't have asked for much better than Mexican crowd. And I get by. I'm hoping that will lead to me running away from him. That's all. What? We got reset. I didn't even go off the track, I feel like. I was within the white bollards, the white fences. Always we get into Herlings. And look, he went even wider than I did. And I got reset. Look at this, we're getting elbow to him again. We're taking the lead though. Just staying in front. As we approach the end of this first lap. Very intriguing battle. And now I'm hoping to be the hare that gets away from the greyhounds. So you'd only by a couple of tenths of a second crossing the line. So you get down to second there to get some of the turn, which really helped. You can get some power oversteer on these bikes. So there we go, and that was a pretty good first section of that. And that we pulled a second on Herlings. Need to use some of that rear brake though. I keep forgetting to press A. As some of these. It's Hernandez is just in the rhythm around this track. Look at that. Oh, good jumps. Oh, leaning a bit forward there. Bit wide. Head into the bigger jump. Not too bad. Gained almost another second on Herlings. He is just dropping back the Dutchman, but he's taking vital points for the championship. There's no one there to challenge, and it seems like. But there's no one challenging Greg Hernandez either. There's a low big crowd. It's around halfway through this race. It's looking like it will be a vitally important perfect weekend. So that's better through that section. Oh, bit messy at the end. Now that we gained another over a second. Nerdent. So lean forward, landed a bit on the back wheel. Not too bad as we run wide in the final corner. But that reset hasn't cost us too much, I don't think, because we managed to build a bit of a lead. And yeah, we only lost around half a tenth of a second. 2 Herlings as we're on the final lap of the race, final lap in Mexico. And what a weekend it has been for Greg Hernandez just when he needed it. Heading into the final round of the season. This is what Assen should have been. This is what the Netherlands should have been like. As you got the Kawasaki of the Frenchman going into the podium spots. Ahead of Savignon. Almost 6 seconds out of Herlings, so we can relax slightly. That's having a great battle for the final podium spot. And I hope the American circuit's like this. But it's probably going to be like a hard track and be the total opposite of what I want. But we will see in a couple of minutes' time. It's around halfway through this final lap. Got a very good cushion behind, 7.2 seconds. A bit of a scrub for the crowd. There's a full pelt round this section. Just loads of jumps. Pretty entertaining. Must be great to watch. Got a bit wide and then that's it. We definitely got that section sussed out. A bit wide. But it's led to a good run over these jumps and into the final corner. Going to be slightly later on the power, so you don't run wide like the previous lap. Let's go down, let's cross the line and takes the overall and ends a perfect weekend. As Herlings is in second, 12.2 seconds back. Hey, the Frenchman did get third. There's Savignon, got Swiss Yamarada in fifth. The Brit in sixth. So another alright race, not what he wanted. Head of Honus in seventh. As he got Leiber, ran out the top 10. So 50 points, just 6 points taken off Herlings though. As we head to the final round of the season, 25 points back of the Dutchman. We need him to have a disaster as we've jumped the Latvian by 14 points. And you see the Brits kind of dropped himself out of contention after that poor weekend in Mexico. But now we're heading to the season finale in America. And welcome to Glen Helen, as someone's already down. As it's another intermediate track surface, so it's a bit like Mexico, I'm guessing. Bit loose, will allow us to turn the bike, but look how challenging it is. Loads of jumps, loads of different lines you can take. I'm liking this. Very much is a spectacle, a bit like the Leon track. So now we've got a bit of a back straight here, very wide open. Heading into a ridiculous curve as we go past their Hollywood sign. You can see that's where we're going to be starting, try and get the whole shot in the race. I'm using this rider in front as a guide, and if he is a guide, seems like we're doing very well. Let's look at this extreme undulation. It's a bit like the Czech Republic track a few rounds back, because here we go down the hill into a tight hairpin corner. Drag the bike out of the rut and then up the hill again towards another tight hairpin corner after the jump. Well, that's a bit nicer for us as here we go downhill again. I'm really liking this. Lots of vegetation around as well on the countryside, and this is just an insane track. Might actually be my favourite track of the season. The final one we visited as well. Where Hernandez has a tall task ahead of him to dethrone Jeffery Herlings. 25 points back. So we need to win both races, and if we do that, we need Herlings to finish around the half of the top 10, around 10th actually. As we get reset, we got a bit sloppy there. As you got some little mounds to jump over. And a bit wide. So we've got a couple of guys for company as they head to the final corner. So that's good to know. I can just cut that corner in and not get reset. As it's a mammoth that time. I think it's the longest. Well, not the longest circuit, but the largest in that time amount, I think. 2 minutes 7.2 we did. Let's see what that places us on the grid. Having another good feeling. As it is second behind the Slovenian. I'll still take that though. Herlings down in 6th. Got the Frenchman and Kawasaki 3rd. Then the Latvian in 4th and the Brit in 5th, with Petrov rounding out the top 10. So can we just continue the form and take another win in the penultimate race of the season? So we are lining up for the penultimate time. We're getting the full intro here. 15 seconds to go. We are lining up, hoping for a good start. Oh, and that is a good start. Looks like we're going around the outside. There's some reason Gator just lost time. And we do take the whole shot. Very nice to see from Greg Hernandez. As we go up the hill. Trying to power way up the hill here. Got Herlings in 2nd though. That's not what we want. Got the Brit as our rival in 3rd. It's got to use that rut in the middle of the corner to help steer your bike. As we charge up the hill once again for a bit of a bigger jump. And another tight hairpin. And oh my god, landing on the rear wheel there. But we get away with it. As Herlings is 1.5 seconds back, so we definitely got the pace around this track. We've just got to be careful of where that Dutchman finishes though. So I do like this. But it does kind of show up limitations you have with the character model being a bit stiff as well. Shows off in this game. So it feels a bit more live, I would say. MXGP2 with the new engine as well. Unreal 4 engine for the game. Coming out very soon. So we retain that 1.5 second lead to Herlings. So we don't actually gain any time in that section. But I imagine we gain it in this section with the mounds. As almost going where we did not want to. As now we're going in and out on that rut. As we go on to the second lap of the race. We doubled our lead in that last section. It's Good to see. Once again, it's still Herlings behind. Isn't it to our right? And you can see it's a bit spread out now. So you've got Just, who has crashed. Get on the power. And the Swiss rider's down as well on the Yamaha. We've got the wide open section leading to this crazy banked corner. Something you see on the NASCAR oval rather than motocross track. Just, without the dirt. Herlings gained some time in that first section. So keep it in fourth. And, running wide. And to lay ourselves on the power there. That is not good. What's going to use in that rut. Get the power on. Go up the hill. Steer towards the American flag. Have a nice jump as well. That was a pretty good jump there. Good jump downhill as well. We've got loads of momentum, over 50 miles per hour heading into the hairpin. And we gained that time back on Herlings behind. But the judgment is still not being challenged. So we might be winning this race, but we might be doing it in vain as well. As it does seem like the field is kind of one by one behind. So that was a fantastic circuit. It's not providing the best overtaking action. It's a bit like Suzuka on the F1 calendar. Braking a bit early there, so we don't go right up to the advertising hoardings. So, no, we're going off track. Where are we going? Stay on the bike. As the Belgian went down. Got our rival, the Brit, down to fourth. As we go into the final lap of the race. Got Herlings 3.5 seconds behind, despite a little detour. The Brits fighting back though. Taking back third from the Frenchman. There's a Kawasaki rivalry going on. Maybe some pride there from the Frenchman. He's a bit further back than the Brit. But he's had a very good second half of the season. And he's showing that he can battle right at the front. Because has been the team leader this season. So then gained that half second back in the first sector. Bogged it down in fifth there. Probably should have changed that to fourth like I did on the previous lap. There you go. The section now where we can really gun it. Up the hill and down the hill. That's another good jump. Landed a bit on the back wheel though. So that's meant I didn't get quite the momentum I wanted heading into the next jump. But we're hooking up the apexes. Not making any mistakes on this lap, despite leaning on the back wheel again as we got over a 4-second lead. We're down. Now it's made it interesting. This final lap. I'm surprised Hernandez didn't make his way by. I would have thought 4 seconds wouldn't have been enough for a reset, but apparently it is. As it's now under 2 seconds is the lead. We only lost 2 seconds? Despite, even though we crashed. I'll take it though. Heading into the final couple of corners now in this first race. Going slightly wide. Just making sure we're following the line. And cross the line with the win. In the penultimate race of the season. But the bad news is Herlings was second by quite a distance from the rest. 2.3 seconds back, but 5.4 seconds ahead of the Brit. He won the battle of the Kawasaki's, but Savini in fifth. And Petrov rounded out the top 10 just behind Honus. As we get the maximum 25 points, but into the final race of the season, it is Jeffery Herlings' championship to lose. But will he lose it, or will Hernandez get another win to end the season and take another overall in this episode? So it's very PS2 graphics on that Monster Energy Girl model. As he had a shocking start for the final race of the season. Look at this, we go down the inside. Will Herlings beat us to the whole shot? He will. And will that be a sign that he also beats us to the title? As he gets out ahead of the pack. We get a fantastic run up the hill and take the lead from him. But he's doing enough. We need him to make a mistake. He's got our teammate battling for a podium behind with the Brit. As we go up the hill now. It's all the talk of the bike. There's hello official. Let's go back down the hill. Got Herlings just half a second behind us, and there he is. Taken to the outside. Trying to modulate the throttle properly over those jumps. Much better than I did in the final lap of that first race. So there we go. Nice groove there to dig yourself into to get around that corner. There you go, you can wave to the fans again, and oh! The Kawasaki's got past Herlings. We've got a new challenger. That's good to see. But that'll lead Herlings to make a mistake, maybe battling for second. Now the Dutchman is probably wise not to do that, as he is battling for second actually. Let's go into the second out of the race. 1.9 second lead over the battling pair behind. Keeping it in third gear out of the corner there. Oh, doing a little of a stoppy there. Didn't want to do that. But it worked out. As we get our scrubs out. Now up the hill towards the Glen Helen sign. They can probably take that in fifth gear flat out, but they get a bit of a confidence lift, get it down to fourth. And we actually gained time on Herlings in that first section. So battling is costing him time. But it's not costing him the championship just yet. So it goes slightly wide. Go into that rut. You see our rivals to the left hand side, making our way down the hill. We go up it, land on our back wheel slightly. We'll take the hairpin turn. And once again on the back wheel, the suspensions really do get hammered around here. This is almost a 3 second lead over Herlings, so we're building a nice lead over the Dutchman. Unfortunately for us, he's not making any mistakes behind. I wonder if the challenge of the Kawasaki has failed and the Brits dropped back. As we're approaching the final lap of the season, Greg Hernandez on the Suzuki, once again being a class of the field, but too many mistakes has cost him this season, as he almost does it again into the advertising audience. As he got over a 3 second lead behind, and oh, Swiss Rider's down on the Yamaha. I was hoping to say KTM though. As there we go, on to the final lap of the season, soaring high. This Greg Hernandez. What an adventure it's been this season, from barely looking competitive at the beginning of the year on the Husqvarna. Turned Husqvarna's fortunes around when he was on the edge of the championship battle when he switched to Suzuki with 6 races remaining. Oh, 8 races remaining. Nope. 6 rounds remaining. 12 races remaining. I got there eventually. And he has won over half of those rounds. It looks like the last 4 races of the season. But after that miserable round in Assen, where Herlings made mistakes, everyone made mistakes. He couldn't capitalise on that shocking throwing for the Dutchman at his home round. And it seems like he just left himself too much to do in these final 4 races of the season, despite being dominant in Mexico and now in America. It's just too little too late. As Hernandez is almost 5 seconds back. So there we go, get on the back wheel slightly. It actually worked there over those mounds. Let's keep it in 4th, down to 2nd. Bit out of the groove into that corner, but doesn't matter. Managed to get good traction out of it. And after what you saw in the wildcard rounds as well, I didn't think I'd actually be competitive on this game, but what a turnaround the season makes. So on hard difficulty, we're 6 seconds ahead of the rest. Could probably have won this on realistic, the hardest difficulty in the game. As we do a little jump over the final corner and take the over on the final round of the season. 50 more points to add to the total. But Jeffery Herlings, the Dutchman, has taken the MX2 title despite finishing over 7 seconds behind. With the Brit on the Kawasaki in 3rd, Jonas in 4th, and my teammate rounding out the top 5 with Petrov just outside the top 10. As Herlings got 2 second places in my firsts. Look at that, 2 third places as well for the Brit. And it means he wins the title by 19 points from Greg Hernandez. But what a showing from the Andorran rider. As I said, during the wildcard rounds, it looked like he couldn't even ride an MX2 bike. By the end of the season, it looks like he could challenge with the best. The Brit finished 3rd, leapfrogging Jonas in the final standings by 3 points. Slovenian in 5th, a disappointing end to the season after being very strong for most of it. Frenchman in 6th, we had a very strong second half of the season compared to the first. Got a couple of Swiss riders, including my teammate in 8th. And a couple of Yamahas to round out the top 10, with Petrov just outside of it, despite winning a race this year. As we go all the way to the back, we can see in 33rd and last, it's the Spaniard Zaragoza on the Honda with 2 points, and the Brit Featherstone on another Feather Suzuki rider with 4 points. And so there are the championship winners. There's your top 3. What a season it was. It was very up and down. There were dominant patches for Greg Hernandez. Around half the season, he won like half the races. But then the other half was just so many falls, so many tumbles, so many battling. Very aggressive at times, especially in the Netherlands. Especially in the round before that, in like Belgium and the Czech Republic as well. Which probably did cost them the title. But well done to Herlings on the KTM. Suzuki in 2nd, Kawasaki in 3rd. As we get some handsome credits and reputation as well to end the season. As here's the MXGP mag, and in this up we got the Frenchman taking the MXGP title. As we're absolutely thrilling, his team manager says we owe this victory to our determination. And in the MX2, catching a stand performance from Hernandez, who beats Herlings and the Brit, but it wasn't enough in the end. As we go to next season, do we? Well, it's not going to be on this game though. That is the end of our MXGP2 adventure. We're going to find out what Greg Hernandez does on MXGP3 very soon. Does he choose a new official team? Does he use his custom team? Does he stay in his current team? Those are the questions that are going to be answered in the new game. I hope you have enjoyed this season of career mode in MXGP2. I've certainly grown to quite actually like this game. You know, it's a bit more pick up and play than I expected. You know, despite the frame rate at times, so I apologise if you see that in the videos. But you know, I had to change some of the settings. But once you get used to this game, it is actually pretty fun, as you've no doubt seen, and at times very frustrating as well, battling other riders. But now there's incidents in like Netherlands in the last half of the season, mostly down to myself rather than, you know, the collision system or the AI. AI pretty decent at times battling. Sometimes they have to wanting, but that's what you get from kind of Milestone. It feels like, you know, you get lots of good, but then there's quite a few bad as well, and hopefully they improve on that with MXGP3. And I hope you're going to enjoy seeing that game on this channel after this taster of MXGP2. And I hope you have enjoyed this career mode. I'll be back with more career mode, no doubt, for MXGP3. And there might be another video, a last video, to say goodbye to MXGP2 as well. So out for watching, and I will see you next time.